Well, as we are communicating right now, there is a emergency Category 4 hurricane, Matthew, working up the east coast of Florida. 1.5 million Floridians are under an immediate evacuation order, and we are in an emergency situation. Electricity's off, water's off, the stores are already empty, and so on. So I'm urging everybody out there in America to get a hold of the trilogy of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, and the Passport Aromatherapy. Get a hold of the book Prepare, okay, the book Prepare, and you will learn how to prepare for these events. Obviously, Longevity has an enormous number of products. We have a couple thousand products now, I think. Now we have Go Foods, 25-year shelf life. We have over 100 products. 90% are gluten-free. They're all non-GMO. They're all organic. We have Beyond Organics, wonderful grass-fed milk products, cheese, kind of a liquid yogurt, a kefir called Masi. And then we have good herbs. We're talking about tinctures of herbs. We actually have, in the longevity side, we actually have the capsules of herbs, okay? And herbs have been used for health situations since the beginning of time. And so make sure if you do require prescriptions, you get, kind of a 90-day supply right now as we speak. And then you also want to get the Quanta water, so you have safe water. Get a hold of the, don't forget your pet. We have the Arthritis and all the for tails only kind of things, which is a whole line of pet products. Get those. And then don't forget Pure Works, skin disinfectants. We have the skin disinfectant soap and lotions, sprays and foams. And, of course, we have the colloidal silver for disinfectants and disinfecting wounds. And then the basic stuff, the 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And don't forget things like Rebound. Our energy and electrolyte products have 100 nutrients in them. Our Rebound has 100 nutrients in it, including the electrolytes. And Gatorade has 2, Powerade has 6. All right, so doesn't it make sense to have at least a 90-day supply on hand for each person in the household? If you have relatives living close by, you might want to get it for them because they tend to be stiff-necked and might not follow your requests or guidance into ordering product. So you need to have something for everybody so everybody will be safe. Again, that's the trilogy of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, and the Passport Aromatherapy, and the book Prepare. Don't forget, you need a magnifying glass to start a fire. There's no more fuel. How are you going to start a fire for warmth and cooking food and letting people know where you're at? A magnifying glass in the sunshine will do that. People don't even know those things anymore. You need matches. You need wooden matches. You need things like lighters, cigarette lighters, all right? That way you'll have fuel to be able to start. Don't forget, if you also have propane, you want to make sure you make sure you know where that's at and how to handle it properly and safely. Easy to get at it. You don't want it flying around in earthquakes and fires and hurricanes and tornadoes and become a bomb. So you have to know how to handle these things. And here again, we're the book Prepare and the trilogy books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, and the Passport Aromatherapy. And you're going to learn how to deal with injuries. You'll learn, so you need tape and gauze. I'd get some of that triple antibiotic ointment, right? Get some hydrogen peroxide. Get all this stuff. We have hydrogen peroxide consumable products, okay? And you need to have all this stuff on hand, and I hope you never have to use it. Obviously, the consumable products, like the Go Foods and the Beyond Organics, the 90 essential nutrients, you always consume the oldest ones in the pile first and keep filling behind with newer ones. So they're using it all the time, but you keep that, and you might take a couple of months to 6 months to accumulate a 3 to 6 month supply for everybody. That way it's not a burden, but you're making things happen. Okay, you must do these things. Otherwise, simple decision. Survival of the fittest not only includes speed and strength, it also includes good decisions, one of which is to have everything you need on hand to be self-sufficient for as many as 3 months. Things can get very, very bad. What if we get hit by a hurricane and an earthquake and a wildfire all at the same time, and some enemy country or group hacks our grid so we can't get it back up for electricity and fuel and water and food supply. The roads are blocked. I mean, all this nasty stuff is happening. We have to be prepared for all that, all right? So I urge you to be prepared for all this. But you're going to have to consciously be aware and do this. And again, I urge you to get a hold of the trilogy books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, The Passport to Aromatherapy, and the book Prepare, and learn how to deal not only with physical injuries and those kinds of things and your just basic needs, but also we want you to be able to deal with over 900 different diseases using vitamins and minerals and trace minerals and rare earths, amino acids, fatty acids, herbs, aromatherapy oils. We want you to think of longevity as the Amazon of health. We want you to think of longevity as the Home Depot and the Lowe's of health. We want you to think of longevity as the AutoZone and Pep Boys of health. Okay? Get ready to do everything yourself. Be prepared, and you and your family will survive and flourish and do well. Well, stick with us. We're going to be back with more truth, justice, and the longevity way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, when I saw this one, I thought immediately of you, and you're going to get a kick out of this one. It's a CNN story headlined, "Humans Have Reached Their Lifespan Limit," researchers say. So humans can only live so long, and we're reaching the natural biological limit. This was all reported in the journal Nature. They say that despite life expectancy dramatically higher than it was 100 years ago, it's highly unlikely it will continue to rise any more than it is right now. Also says the probability of anyone living to more than 125 years is incredibly unlikely. Her research was carried out by a geneticist, Jan Vijg, at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. They analyzed trends in the United States, UK, France, and Japan. Says that while there's no reason to think that the ongoing increase is in maximum lifespan will end soon, data strongly suggests that it's already been attained, and that happened in the 1990s. Report says that if human lifespan is extended beyond 125 years, it would require other scientific interventions beyond improving someone's health. There is no scientific reason why such efforts could not successfully be possible. It's essentially constrained by the myriad of genetic variants that collectively determine species-specific lifespan. And they talk about Jean Calumet, that died back in 97. She was the oldest ever documented person dying at 122. But then there's a professor, Dame Linda Partridge, director of the UCL Institute of Healthy Aging, says that some of the report's conclusions are perfectly sound and others are questionable. She says it's a biological time bomb, won't just set off. Clearly, if we're seeing someone who's 100 years old, they were born 100 years ago in 1916, and the conditions then were completely different than those faced by babies being born. Now, that kind of goes to that report where they're now saying that, the kids today aren't going to live as long as their parents.
That's correct. And, of course, all of this is based on eating diets that are just food without supplementation. Since we came out with that big book that's in the Smithsonian Institute, The Disease of Exotic Animals, 1,200 pages, and just in animals, there's 17,000 and some change autopsies over 454 species and 3,000 humans. What we learned was that every human being and every animal that dies, what we call natural causes, dies from a nutritional deficiency. Now, when we started adding vitamins, minerals, all 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids, to animals' feeds in the zoos, livestock, pets, we tripled the lifespan over a 60-year period. Doug, we tripled the lifespan in a 60-year period. 60 years ago, an old dog was 8 years old. Today, an old dog is 25, okay? In humans, at the same period of time, we've only gained 6 months of longevity. And that's because it was the 6 months we gained was not from supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients like we did in the animal industry, but heroic medical stuff in nursing homes where they give them IVs. These people are unconscious. They're just minutes or hours or days away from death if they ever pull the plug on them. But they feed them through G-tubes. They give them IVs to keep them hydrated. And they can add 3, 4, 5, 6 months by doing that. But to triple the lifespan, they're going to have to supplement. And this is the piece that's missing. And you hit the nail right on the head. And so this is nonsense that we only have 125 years. Dr. Li from China was documented at 256 years. We have people all over the world in the past 50 years Russians, the Russian Georgians. The top one there was 141 years of age. There's a gal from western Nigeria, supposed to be 191 years old. She's still alive, and plenty of time to do documentations and laboratory tests and all that kind of stuff. And so living to be well beyond 100 is actually quite easy. And I would urge everybody to get a hold of that book called Immortality and learn the secrets of the top 20 longevity cultures according to the National Geographic, not me. Well, stick with us. We'll be back with more truth, justice, and the longevity way. And dead doctors don't laugh at these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Connecticut. And Dozier, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Dozier, you're on the air.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
Yes, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It was cervical, and want to know what's the best stuff to take, and the best.
How much does she weigh?
She weighs 145.
145
pounds. Yes.
Okay.
And she's 79 years old.
Okay. Does she have any other issues? Diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure?
Yes, she has diabetes, and she's starting to complain that she's feeling arthritis, in her hands.
Sure.
And so.
Okay. Now, let's see here. How much does she weigh?
145.
145. Okay. Got it. All right. Charmaine, what 2 things would you do for Nazir's mom? What would you do about diet? What would you do about a supplement program to support her immune system?
I would get her on a gluten-free diet for sure. And then I would get her on a healthy brain and heart pack, and I would also give her the sweeties, and I would also give her the glucogel. Okay,
very, very good. Char's quite correct, Nazir. Your mom needs to get rid of all the bad stuff, things that will drive cancer to be worse, probably was involved in the cause of her cancer. That means absolutely no fried foods, absolutely no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no deli slices, sandwich meats, sausage, ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, that kind of stuff. Absolutely no oils, no microwave popcorn, no theater popcorn, no olive oil, no coconut oil, no margarines, mayonnaise, seltzer, and cooking oils, and no gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. No wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. If she tends to lose weight in these situations, she could have sweet potatoes and some butter, real butter, not margarines, and rice, of course. And then Char's quite correct. And being that she has life-threatening cancer here, stage 4 means it's gone other places, regional lymph nodes, something. 145 pounds, I'd have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, as Char said, a full dose of everything at breakfast and dinner. I'd also have her get her ORIC points. What would you give her, Charmaine, to get Nazir's mom's ORIC points over a couple 100,000 a day?
I give her the BTT 2.0 tablet.
Okay, very good. She could have 3 or 4 of those twice a day. It would be 2 bottles a month, and that's going to get her ORAC points over 300,000 per day, which is going to support her immune system. And for her diabetes, as Char said, she needs 3 sweeties twice a day. Check her fasting blood sugar as her sugar drops, so she needs to adjust her medication. And then, of course, her arthritis. What would you throw in for the arthritis, Charmaine?
The glucogel.
Glucogel, okay. 2 bottles a month, 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then call us every couple of weeks here. Keep us informed on how mom's doing. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Los Angeles, California. And Lucy, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Lucy, you're on the air.
Yes, hi, Dr. Wallach. I'm calling for my sister. She has diabetic and blood pressure and gallstone in her bladder, and she also has muscle pain. How can you help us?
Okay, was she diagnosed with anything like lupus or fibromyalgia or anything like that?
No.
Okay, and how old is your sister?
She's 58 years old.
Okay, and how much does she weigh?
She weighs 280 pounds.
And how tall is she?
She's tall. She's 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, 5'7" for a lady. I'd like to see her weigh 165, so she's 100, 115, 120 pounds overweight. Need to work on that. I'm assuming her diabetes is type 2 diabetes, adult onset diabetes. Is that correct?
Correct. It's type 2.
Okay. All right, Charmaine. This is a Charmaine thing. Why does Lucy's sister have so many different problems here?
Because she has a gluten intolerance and she can't absorb anything.
Yeah, all of these diseases, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, gallstones, which is really a reflection of the inability of the liver to do its job properly. It's not a gallbladder problem; it's a liver problem. The muscle pain could be what's called fibromyalgia or an autoimmune connective tissue problem. It could be lupus, but it's all the same thing, all nutritional deficiencies. And so is the being overweight by 120 pounds. This has to do with missing nutrients. Okay, and when you're missing nutrients, your body wants to eat a lot of something looking for those nutrients. So it's not unusual for people who are overweight and obese to actually have numerous and multiple nutritional deficiencies. So what would you do for Lucy's sister here, Charmaine?
Well, ideally, she should have 3 healthy blood sugar packs.
Okay, yeah, 1 per 100 pounds, so she's almost 300 pounds.
And for the high blood pressure, she should also have the Ultimate Daily Classic, the Niacin Plus, and the Cardio Sticks.
Okay, and what would you do for the diabetes?
That comes in the blood sugar, the 3 blood sugar packs.
Okay. And then what would you do for the muscle pain and the liver? Muscle pain and liver problems could be related to the same deficiencies.
She needs selenium for that, and she also could use the CM cream and the CM capsules.
Very good. You get an A+, dear. Okay. So basically, Lucy, Charmaine is quite correct. Your sister needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. Of course, no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no oils whatsoever, and no gluten. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And hang on, we'll come back and we'll just review down through all of the supplement programs that's going to support her basic metabolic needs for all these various health problems. And we'll walk you through this after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to California and Lucy. And Ashar said, Lucy, and I do it this way to give exactly as Ashar said. 280 pounds is 1 set per 100 pounds, closer to 300 pounds to 200 pounds. But then always, if it's a burden on her finances, she could cut it to 2 a day instead of 3 a day. I'd have her do the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. That's going to get her the selenium. There's selenium in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And so she could have 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, a full dose, everything at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, getting the ideal. And then she needs 3 bottles of our sweeties, so she could have 12 a day, 4 at breakfast, 4 at lunch, 4 at dinner. Again, have her monitor her blood sugar every morning before she medicates herself. And as her blood sugar drops, and it will, she can reduce her amount of medication based on her doctor's teachings. And then high blood pressure, as Shar said, I go ahead and get your sister, Lucy, 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, so she could have 12 a day, 4 at breakfast, 4 at lunch, 4 at dinner time. They're going to support healthy blood flows for obstructed arteries and support healthy blood pressure. And then also for the muscle pain, in addition, to the selenium and the other stuff that's in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which is necessary for healthy muscle physiology, I would throw in the CM cream topically and put 5 drops of the trauma oil, TRAUMA, trauma oil, per teaspoon of the CM cream, and she can rub that on her muscles and tendons and ligaments and joints to relieve pain for 3 to 5 hours a day. Now, Char, what would you give Lucy's sister to help her lose some weight?
Well, I'd give her the ASAP.
Okay. We actually have a new product now called REV, R-E-V. It's actually an upgraded ASAP, okay? And so we're going to phase ASAP out and go with REV, R-E-V, REV, and it's like, 10 times stronger than ASAP, and so it is just going crazy, okay? So it's called REV, R-E-V, same dropper bottle, same concept, but it's a serious upgrade to the original program, REV, R-E-V. I'd have her take 2 of those dropper bottles of REV per month, put a dropper full under her tongue, 30 minutes for each meal, a second dropper full under her tongue, 15 minutes for each meal. Let her have it absorbed through oral tissues. She'll get maximum benefit that way. If she swallows it, it won't hurt her, but she won't get maximum benefit. And so give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know what your sister weighs, what her blood pressure is, what her blood sugar is. And all this, of course, the diet and the supplement program should support, again, a healthy liver function and also a healthy musculoskeletal function. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to San Jose, California. And Sarah, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Sarah, you're on the air.
Hi, I have an 11-year-old male Shih Tzu. He has mitral valve prolapse with a slight onset of congestive heart failure. We called in about a month ago and got a protocol of vitamins and minerals, and he's doing really well, except for he's still getting fluid buildup.
Okay, and he weighs how much?
He weighs 18 pounds.
18 pounds, okay. So, you're a small dog person, Charmaine. You got two of them. What would you give this dog again? 11 years old, 18 pounds, has congestive heart failure and some heart valve problems. What would you?
I would give him a half of a de-stress pill.
Okay, a capsule. Okay. Yeah, I'd give it a half in the morning, half in the evening, so go through one de-stress capsule per day. And then what would you do for the general multivitamin stuff?
Well, I think she's already given him probably the Arthritis, I would assume.
Yeah, he's already on the de-stress, the Arthritis, selenium, and cardio effects. So we noticed he finally started eating and everything, so he's back on his raw food. He's made a really great turnaround being on these vitamins, but my only concern is he's still coughing a lot, so he's still getting some sort of fluid buildup.
Sure. Okay. So what I would do there is actually get the CM Plus capsules and give that dog 2 of those a day, CM Plus capsules, one at breakfast, one at dinner time. You may have to plop it down little throat and rub his throat so he swallows them. They're the size of a pea, very small. Sometimes they come in capsules, sometimes they're soft gels. I don't know. But at any rate, CM Plus capsules, and they're anti-inflammatory. They reduce swelling all over all tissues, all organ systems. So this should help. And, one of those CM Plus capsules at breakfast, one in the evening. And then give us a call in a week and let us know how your wonderful little guy's doing. Thank you so much, by the way, for the feedback. And that way other people with older dogs that tend to have congestive heart failure, especially if they're eating dry dog food, because the more carbohydrates they consume, the more of these supplements they need. And so it's not unusual that the amount of supplements they put in the original dog food is not quite enough when they switch from dried fish and dried poultry and dried meats over to carbohydrates because they're cheaper. And the dog is kind of like a pig in that they're able to derive nutrition and calories, and they can survive on a lot of different foods. But we would need to make sure that when they're getting dry dog food, even if it's rice and no wheat, brown, rye, and oats, their gluten is gone, but they're still getting a lot of carbohydrate calories. They need more nutrition, more supplements. And so keep going the way you're going, but add the CM Plus capsules and give us a call in a week. Let us know how Pup's doing. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Washington State. And Blanca, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello,
Blanca, you're on the air.
Oh, yes. I have kidney failure, stage 5. And,
Are you on dialysis?
Yes, I'm on they call it peritoneal dialysis.
Okay.
The solution, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm right now my blood pressure is on and off. Like sometimes is 90 over 60, sometimes 150 over 55, 170 over 60, like that.
Yep.
And also my PTH is high. I have 1,300 PTH.
Okay, now you're talking about parathyroid. You're talking about parathyroid hormone?
Parathyroid. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I have my phosphorus is 5.0.
Mm-hmm.
And my protein is.
Do you have any arthritis or osteoporosis?
No, I don't have, but I have a restless leg syndrome before. Yes,
okay, which is a back problem. Okay, so let's go with that. Let's see here. What do you weigh?
I weigh 105 pounds.
105. Okay, Charmaine. Blanca's about your size, and she's on peritoneal dialysis, where she does this at home. She puts fluid in her belly, and then she sucks it out a little bit later to help get take the place of the filtering units in the kidney, which aren't functioning well, but she's able to do this at home instead of going to a dialysis laboratory. And so she has high blood pressure, problems up and down, which is not unusual when you have kidney failure. restless leg syndrome, which is degenerative disc disease and arthritis and osteoporosis. So it's not surprising her parathyroid hormone levels are up. What would you do for this gal?
I would.
Hang on. We got to go. Wait, we got to go to this message moment. Hang on, Charmaine, and we'll let you espouse on this after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity 95 Crusade. And Doug, let's go right back to Washington State and Blanca. Okay, Shar, you were just starting to say, what supplement program would you give to support kidney function, blood pressure problems, which are kind of similar, parathyroid, what does elevated parathyroid hormones mean, and restless leg syndrome is osteoporosis, degenerative disc disease. What would you do for this lady, and what's her problem?
Well, she's got she's lacking calcium. That's the problem. She needs more calcium. So I would get her on a healthy bone and joint pack, and I would also add the Ultimate Daily Classic. I would add the Niacin Plus, and I would add the Cardio Sticks, and the calcium in the product will take care of the.
Okay. Very good. And so, and of course, she's 105 pounds, you're exactly right. One healthy bone and joint pack. Wouldn't hurt to get an extra bottle of Osteo so you could have 2 ounces a day, one at breakfast, one at dinner. You're right on the blood pressure, and the support of healthy kidney function would be the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, the Ultimate Cardio Sticks, and the Ultimate Niacin Plus. One dose of everything a day, a half a dose of each thing at breakfast and dinner. And then what would you do for the restless leg syndrome piece?
Well, that's the calcium deficiency, so it should take care of itself.
What would you do for the disc in between the vertebrae?
Oh, I give her glucogel.
There you go, glucogel. Okay, glucogel. And so she could dip to 1 large bottle a month of glucogel, so she could take 3 or 4 of those twice a day. And that's going to support and promote healthy maintenance repair of connective tissue, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, disc between the vertebrae, and so forth. And, of course, she needs to monitor her blood pressure every day. And, of course, so she's going to go on a regular basis to the doctor and get her kidney function test, creatinine levels, and her GFR, glomerular filtration rates, and so on. And don't let them, Blanca, don't let them cut your sister's parathyroids out, okay? They have to stay in there. They're just large and pumping out extra hormone because, as Shar said, she's got a calcium problem. Okay, Doug, how much time we got here?
You got about a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. Okay, Shar, let's just let Shar and I take this. We'll talk to some of these other people tomorrow. Shar, what have you seen now after 26 years of working with me? You go all over the world. You've been in many, many countries. You go to just about every state in the United States. And what do you see as a universal problem here? Why do people have so many? Why does one individual have so many health problems?
Because you can't get the nutrition in the food anymore, and people can't seem to realize that. The minerals are not in the soil anymore. They've been mined out or washed out by rain, and so the only way that you can get them is to supplement. And everybody's suffering all these diseases because of it's a lack of nutrition, completely lack of nutrition. All the birth defects, everything, all a lack of nutrition. Once you understand it, it's like going through a one-way door. You can't go back.
Exactly right. And, of course, I'm very, very proud of you. And, of course, you teach this concept to literally thousands of people every month. I'm just very proud of you that you do that. And you've been doing it consistently. You've become a student of the information. And we're looking for help. We're growing very rapidly. The crash of the insurance system, the crash of the Affordable Health Care Act, and the outrageous damage that the medical system has done to our population. Our kids will be the first generation of Americans that do not live as long as their parents. Doctors are the number 1 cause of death in America and the number 3 cause of death in America. And so we have a challenge here. And so we have to really get involved here and take over, just like people do their own home remodeling, or they'll do their own home maintenance repair. They'll do their own car maintenance repair. We need to take care of ourselves, and people we love will be farther ahead and safer. And so I can't thank you enough for all you do. And what is your favorite CD of all the CDs? What's your most favorite CD, Shar?
Oh, I think the original, Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Well, there you go. That's everybody's favorite. Dead Doctors Don't Lie in 9 languages. Get them, loan them out, spread the word. You don't have to make up a talk. It's in Dead Doctors Don't Lie, the book, the DVD, and the CD. Well, thank you so much, Shar. Super job. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.